We have entrusted Amelia into God's merciful keeping, and we now commit her body to be buried in the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, in the sure and certain hope of resurrection to eternal life.
It's okay, mate. Just take it easy.
How is he?
Well, he's alive. Mate, just don't move, okay? The ambos are on their way.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, my daughter.
Oh, God.
What is it? What's happened?
Mrs. Vicky McLeod?
Something's happened, hasn't it?
What is it, Mum?
Can we come in, please, Mrs. McLeod?
It's not Paul, is it?
Your husband's going to be fine. There was an accident, but he's fine. I really think it would be best if we came inside. Yeah? How is he?
Well, he's physically okay, but he's not coping very well, of course. Neither's Vicky. That's his wife.
Yes, we know.
Oh, of course, you guys... Oh, well, you've seen her. It's truly awful. She couldn't even come down to the hospital with me.
Well, he's one of your parishioners.
Yeah, he's church warden. He does all the books. Look, I've actually got to go, so... I'll see you later, Paul, okay? Listen, I know you guys have got a job to do, but could you try and go easy on him?
How you feeling, Mr. McLeod?
If you're up to it, we just need to ask you a few questions about the accident.
So you're travelling along Woodland Road?
I was coming from the daycare centre. Just picked Amelia up.
And you were taking her home?
It wasn't my fault. I was wide awake. It was him. He just came straight out at me.
There was another vehicle?
From the side road.
And he hit you?
I don't know. It all happened so quickly. I swerved, swung the wheel over, jammed on the brakes.
It's all right, Mr. McLeod. I know this is difficult, but could you describe this other vehicle?
Not really. Could have been a ute. Yeah, it's just a glimpse out of the corner of my eye, and then I swerved in the tree.
You said him. Was it a male driver?
Oh, I don't know. I was just assumed, you know.
So what do major collisions say?
Well, there's nothing to suggest there was another vehicle, just skid marks from McLeod's Beamer, that's all.
Yeah, but if he'd fallen asleep, you wouldn't expect him to brake at all.
Who knows, he might have snapped the wake just in time. I just don't think we should necessarily take his word for it, even if he is a Christian.
What?
He's a warden at Holy Trinity. We saw Grace at the hospital.
Ah, right.
This other driver...
Alleged other driver.
Well, he must be a real scumbag to not have helped when he saw what happened to McLeod and his daughter.
Perhaps he didn't wait to see. He just drove straight
It
on.
makes him even more of a scumbag.
Or her. It could have been a woman, you know.
Whoever. I just keep thinking of Vicky McLeod. I mean, the look on her face when we told
It's the
her.
worst thing that could happen, losing a child.
Just had major collision on the phone. They've found something.
Oh, what's that?
It's an auger. Used for digging post holes. It was found about 50 metres down from the intersection.
Well, it could have fallen off the back of a ute or a trailer.
Today.
Well, who knows? But if this other vehicle did speed off, it's quite a bumpy road.
So now you reckon there was another vehicle?
It's a possibility.
Based on an abandoned, rusty old post hole drill?
Auger. Well, it's the sort of thing you'd find in a workman's ute, and Paul McLeod said the other vehicle was a ute.
Was or might have been?
But what difference? I mean, if it accelerated away from the scene at speed, this could easily have rolled off the back.
So now all you have to do is find the owner?
Well, I think it's worth following up, Sarge.
Starting where?
Fencing contractors, local farmers.
All right. First thing tomorrow.
Geez, I could use a stiff drink. Who's for the pub?
No, I've got an early night, I'm afraid.
Boss?
Sorry. Dinner engagement. I'm sorry to hear about Paul McLeod.
Oh, yeah, it's appalling, isn't it? I've just come back from seeing his wife. She's a real mess. She's just sitting there, not saying anything.
Oh, listen, if you'd prefer we didn't have dinner, I could...
No, Tom, no, that's fine, really.
Something's bothering you.
Well, it's annoying me rather than bothering me. I found this pinned to my surplice. It must have been there since last Sunday.
It's not very pleasant.
Being called a slut? No, not very.
Any idea what brought that on?
Oh, I can only assume if someone's not very happy with me going out with a Roman Catholic.
Surely not.
Oh, well, you know how narrow-minded some of these people can be. You must have had some snide remarks about going out with me.
Yes, but I try not to think about those sort of people. Any idea who might have written it?
Oh, no. If I did, I'd have a few choice words to say.
No, you wouldn't. Whoever's capable of that sort of abuse is capable of anything.
Oh, come on, Tom. It's probably just a crank, that's all. Look, let's not worry about it. Let's just have dinner and to hell with them.
I thought keeping him out of hell was part of your job.
That's a crank.
That's what Grace said, but I want to take him
Oh,
seriously.
you want me to look into it?
I'd appreciate it.
Boss, it's not exactly a CI matter.
Consider it a personal favour. I want the person who wrote this found and warned.
All right. Well, it's written on a manual typewriter.
Well, there you are. That narrows it down a bit.
All right. Leave it with me.
Thanks.
I told Tom I didn't want to make a fuss about this.
Look, I know, Grace. I do know, but you just can't let these things go, right? Now, can you think of anyone in your congregation that might have written it?
I could think of one or two. You've ruffled a few feathers, Grace.
Maybe I should be speaking to you.
Maybe you should.
Anyone in particular?
Obviously, there are a few people here who don't quite approve of some of the things I do, all right? But I'd really prefer not to name names. Like, frankly, PJ, I just want to forget about it.
Yeah, but Tom doesn't see it that way.
I know. It's up to me, isn't it?
Detective Hatcher? Kate Wilson. I moved into the area a couple of months ago. I run Dimensions.
Dimensions?
Yeah, new age boutique, Hartley Street. Arts and crafts, whale songs, CDs, crystals.
Right, yeah.
You should drop by sometime.
Well, I'm not really a new age sort of person.
It's not as bad as it sounds. Look, I know Grace doesn't want to accuse anyone, but, some of these people, they don't realise what an asset she is to the church.
These people?
You know, the old fogies, they don't understand her modern approach to things.
Oh, right.
Look, there's this guy, Baxter Walsh. He's a retired banker. He and Grace, they don't see eye to eye on anything.
What makes you think he'd send an anonymous letter?
He hates the idea of a woman priest. He'd leave Holy Trinity and go to St. Stephen's if he didn't hate Catholics even more.
So did you ask Grace about this bloke Walsh?
Well, I got the message loud and clear that I'd be wasting my time.
All right, I'll talk to her.
Now, look, you would be wasting your time,
PJ,
too.
I'm not having this rubbish put about.
Oh, it's good.
Thanks for your help, and I'll take it from here.
Fine.
You feeling for oil, mate?
You're going to put a parking ticket on that?
Hey, are we? This your rig?
No. No, it's Roy Barry's. Supposed to be doing some work for me with the bludgeon, never turned up.
Took a bit of a risk, didn't you? Hiring him.
Well, he said he was off the grog. Needed some work, so I took pity on him, more fool me.
Was he here yesterday?
Yeah, for a while. Started late, finished early, as you'd expect.
What time did he leave?
I don't know. I drove past about 4:15, he wasn't here. It's about that accident down the road, is it?
Yeah, did you see it?
I drove past on the way back from St David's, seen the ambulance. There's a little kiddie involved in that, wasn't there?
Yeah, she didn't make it. Listen, any signs that Roy was up to his old tricks yesterday?
Well, like I said, I was in St David's. You reckon he done it, don't you? Ooh, that bastard.
We're just making some inquiries, Mr O'Connell. Thanks for your time.
What's going on?
Bit hungover.
I've been taking a well-earned rest.
Been giving the elbow a bit of a workout, have you?
I've been working, if it's any of your business.
Were you out in your ute yesterday afternoon?
Might have been.
What's the matter? Can't remember. Too many beers?
Hey.
You've already lost your licence a few times, haven't you, Roy?
Yeah? So what? Listen, what's going on here?
You obviously got your licence back because you've been driving around out to various jobs.
Look, you've got nothing on me. What the bloody hell is going on here?
Been doing some fencing work for Albie O'Connell.
Yeah?
You're missing some equipment, aren't you, Roy?
Not as I'm aware.
Your auger?
It's around somewhere.
Did you drive home on Willow Creek Road?
I might have.
Is yours by any chance? So what time did you finish up at Albie O'Connell's?
4:30, 5, round in.
Albie reckons you were long gone by 4:45.
Then what are you asking me for?
Well, the accident took place just after 3:30. If you'd been travelling along Willow Creek Road at that time, there's a good chance you would have seen it.
Well, I didn't. I don't know nothing about no accident.
When you got home and realised you'd lost the auger, why didn't you go back and look for it?
Well, I didn't know I'd lost it, did I, until you two turned up?
Well, I find that hard to believe. Unless you were too drunk to notice.
I was not drunk.
You sure about that, Roy? You sure you weren't too drunk to notice the auger falling off the back of your ute?
No.
Too drunk to notice the stop sign at the crossroads?
Speeding right across the intersection as Paul McLeod's car came over the rise?
I was not drunk. I never saw no accident.
Sorry, it's just a blur. What's he said, this bloke?
Well, he's denying that he was even there.
He was there, all right.
We want to get to the bottom of this too.
All right, it was white, I think.
And you said you thought it was a ute?
Yes, it was.
Any distinctive features you recall?
I think so, yes. The tailgate was missing.
He described your vehicle right down to the missing tailgate.
Yeah, it's a banged-up ute. There's plenty of them, all round the countryside.
In the vicinity of Willow Creek Road at the time of the accident? I mean, that's the way you go home, Roy.
I wasn't bloody there.
Don't make it worse for yourself, Roy.
All right. I was. But it wasn't my fault. And I hadn't been drinking.
I'm sure you hadn't, Roy.
I hadn't. I've been on the wagon for a month now. And I did stop at the stop sign.
No, you couldn't have, otherwise you would have seen Paul McLeod's car coming.
I stopped. I looked. I was halfway across. It just come over the rise like a bat out of hell. He must be doing close to 120.
That little girl died, Roy.
I swear it wasn't my fault that the little kiddie was killed. It was her maniac father.
Well, if he is telling the truth, why didn't he stop and help?
Says he was too scared. Reckoned with his reputation, drunk or sober, he'd get the blame, and he thought the guy in the other car was probably okay.
He also said McLeod was travelling at about 120 clicks. And why would you assume he'd be okay hitting a tree at that speed?
Well, McLeod did brake, perhaps from where he saw it. The impact didn't look so bad.
Well, he still should have stopped. He could have saved Millie's life.
Well, he wasn't to know there was a girl on board.
Because he didn't stop to find out.
Agreed. But if there are mitigating circumstances...
Are you making excuses for him?
No, of course not.
Anyway, hand this all on to Major Collision.
They said I could follow it up.
Ben, we've got so many other cases to work on.
Just let me have another word to Paul McLeod. Sarge, follow up the loose ends.
I've already told you everything that happened.
We'd just like to clear up 1 or 2 points, Mr. McLeod.
Do you realise we're burying our daughter tomorrow?
Look, I'm very sorry.
Are you? I doubt it. It's just a job to you, isn't it?
Vicky, please.
No, I'll say what I think. Doesn't put things right, does it? Won't bring Amelia back, will it?
Oh, if you'd like some time alone with your wife.
No, it's all right.
We'll go through these points as quickly as we can, Mr. McLeod. Now, first of all, do you remember how fast you were going as you approached the intersection?
Not really, just the normal speed.
Within the legal limit?
Oh, definitely.
You sure of that?
Yes.
There's no chance you were going at something like, say, 120 k's?
Absolutely not. Has someone been... It's him, isn't it? The other driver.
He's given a different account of the accident, yes.
He's lying, trying to save his own skin. Who is it?
I'm afraid I can't tell you that, sir.
This man killed my daughter. I'm entitled to know, for God's sake. He killed Amelia. Jesus.
He's lying. I swear to God it was not my fault. He come belting over the rise just as I moved off.
Didn't see him, didn't hear him coming?
Yeah, well, the old youth's a bit noisy, you know how it is. But look, I'd have got across if he hadn't been going like a bat out of hell.
Or if you hadn't been drinking.
I hadn't. I told you. Oh, you don't know how hard it was, not having a drink with... Oh, I felt so guilty, not stopping after.
Yeah, why didn't you stop?
Yeah, well, I know I should have. I know that now. But I knew no one would believe me when I said I hadn't touched a drop.
Gotta say, Roy, I find all this very hard to believe.
It's true. I swear. I was not drunk. I told you. Listen. You can check with Doc Carter. She'll vouch for me.
Dr. Carter at the hospital?
Yeah. Yeah, I got this, what you call it, cirrhosis of the liver. She told me that if I didn't stop drinking, I'd be dead in a couple of years. Well, I have stopped. I've been on the wagon for a month now.
Well, Dr. Mel confirms Roy's story. He has got cirrhosis, been undergoing a series of tests. As far as she knows, he's been on the wagon.
As far as she knows. So we've still only got Roy's word that Paul McLeod was speeding.
Like a bat out of hell were his exact words.
I find that difficult to believe.
Why? Because he's a church warden?
Because he's such a conservative bloke. Hard to believe he'd be driving at such dangerous speeds.
Unless he had some reason to.
What kind of reason?
I don't know. I just don't think Roy's making this up.
Come on, mate. The bloke's an alcoholic. He couldn't lie straight in bed.
In the honesty stakes, my money would definitely be on McLeod.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Baxter Walsh. I had a call from Senior Sergeant Croydon.
Mr. Walsh, come on through.
There you are, sir.
Joe, didn't you think McLeod's wife seemed to be blaming him for something?
What do you expect? The kid was in the car with him. I mean, not thinking rationally.
There's more to it than that.
No, I've never seen that before.
I understand you're pretty involved with what goes on at Holy Trinity.
Yes?
Do you know anyone in the congregation who might be antagonistic towards Reverend Curtis? Enough to write something like this?
I take it that's a thinly veiled accusation?
I'm simply asking the question.
A lot of people, myself included, don't approve of the woman. But I didn't write that. I have my own way of dealing with the lady.
Yes, and what would that be?
Up front. Out in the open. I've already written to Bishop Reynolds, voicing my concerns.
What are your concerns?
I'm sure I don't have to spell them out to you.
No, please do.
I don't approve of her carrying on with a Roman Catholic. Is that clear enough?
Yes, perfectly.
Employing a woman rector was a mistake. And I always knew it. Now, if there's nothing else...
There was just one more thing, Mr. Walsh. I'll be watching you, so don't you step over the line. Do I make myself clear?
One way or another, I'll get rid of her.
Baxter!
Reverend?
Hello, Grace. I'll just see if the boss is free.
Oh, no, Tess, no. I actually want to speak to somebody about Roy Barry. I understand he's going to be charged in relation to the accident.
He's still under investigation.
Is that by you?
Well, yes, as it happens.
I was wondering if we could have a chat about that.
Sure. PJ's is free. Come through.
Okay, thanks.
So you know Roy Barry well?
No, not well. It's just that I was wondering in cases like this if it's possible to be absolutely sure where the blame lies. I mean, if it lies anywhere, in fact. I mean, aren't a lot of accidents just that, blameless?
Some are. So what did you want to tell me, Grace?
Just that I wouldn't want to see an innocent man condemned here, and I'm pretty sure the McLeods wouldn't want to see that either.
Well, we're not in the business of condemning innocent people, but in this case it does seem that Roy Barry may have been drunk and failed to stop at a stop sign.
What did he say?
That he wasn't, and he did.
So what do you think?
I think it needs further investigation. So is that all?
Yeah, I'm sorry it has to be, Ben. But, thanks. I've got to go.
Thank you. Hello, Hannah.
Hi.
We'd just like to talk to your dad again.
He's having a sleep.
What are you doing here?
We'd just like to talk to your husband, Mrs.
Can't you
McLeod.
people just leave us alone?
Maybe you can help us. Do you know what time he picked up your daughter from daycare?
3 o'clock.
Are you sure?
That's what time it finishes. Why are you asking? Why can't you just go?
Mummy.
It's okay, Hannah. I'm not angry at you.
But you're angry with Daddy.
No, I'm not. Can't you people see what you're doing?
I'm sorry.
It's not Daddy's fault baby Amelia died, Mummy.
Just wondering if you'd heard anything about Vicky and Paul McLeod having marriage problems.
God, no, I haven't heard anything about that. And they don't drink in here either, so I haven't spoken to them for ages.
Roy, what are you doing here? You've come in for a drink.
I need one, Mr. Stewart.
No, you don't. One day at a time.
Don't get any easier.
He never does. You know the score.
Well, what's the point of staying sober, eh? Everyone treats you like a waste of space. Nobody believes a word you say.
I believe you. Have you been out to Albie's place to finish off the job yet? You can't let him down, mate. He's got faith in you.
He's bloody mad then, isn't he?
You're the one who's bloody mad if you throw away this chance he's given you.
Maybe.
Hey, have you spoken to Reverend Grace out at the Holy Trinity?
Hey, well, would I? I don't have time for God botherers.
I thought he was on the wagon.
Oh, yeah, he is. Hanging on by his fingertips.
Oi! I've just had Paul McLeod on the blower.
Yeah?
Yeah, what were you two doing out there? I thought this had been handed back to Major Collision.
Just following through, boss.
Or does that include harassing the McLeod family?
Well, we didn't.
He says you did.
His wife just got a bit upset, that's all.
I thought we already had the culprit, Roy Barry.
I'm not so sure he is. There are others who seem to think he might be innocent as well.
Oh, yeah? Like who?
Like Grace Curtis.
In here. Not you. Sergeant, you'd better sit in on this as well. All right, what's Grace got to do with this?
She wanted to talk to me. She seemed concerned that Roy Barry was getting a raw deal.
And why would she think that?
She wouldn't say. But obviously there's more going on than meets the eye. That's why I wanted to talk to Paul McLeod again.
Ben, leave the McLeods alone.
Yes, there's no hard evidence. Pass it back to Major Collision, let them handle it.
Oh, sorry, boss. Grace is on the phone. Someone just chucked a rock through one of the windows at the church.
Get PJ from there.
Well, as I said, I was in the rectory. I heard the crash, came out and they're gone.
I don't know. Kids, maybe? Oh, come on, PJ. It wasn't kids who wrote that note.
What, you think it's connected?
Well, don't you? Somebody's obviously got it in for you.
Or it was just a random act of vandalism.
Yes, well, we can't afford to take that risk.
It's not you who's taking the risk.
Oh, look,
Grace,
why don't I go and check with the neighbours, eh?
All I'm asking is that you take some sensible precautions.
Or perhaps you would prefer I didn't leave the house at all.
Well, that'd have to help. Yeah, just until we get to the bottom of this.
But you may never get to the bottom of it.
Well, we'd have a better chance if we had a bit of cooperation from a certain vicar.
Tom, I am cooperating. There's simply nothing more I can tell you, that's all.
The same story you gave Ben Stewart.
That's got nothing to do with this.
How do we know unless you confide in us?
Tom, I'm sorry.
All right. Please be careful.
I will, I promise.
I'd feel a lot happier if I spent a bit more time here.
Well, obviously that'd make me very happy too, but I can't see how it solves the problem. Can't be here 24 hours a day.
No, but I'd be here a lot if I were to move in.
Oh, that'd really give the tongue something to wag about, wouldn't it?
I don't mean that. I mean, what if we were to make it legal? What if we were to get married?
So you could look after me?
Yeah, why not?
You may be a knight in shining armour, Tom, but I'm no damsel in distress. If we were to get married, there'd have to be better reasons for it than that. I'm sorry, the answer's no.
Mount Thomas Policing, your Constable Stewart speaking.
Do you think Baxter Walsh should do something like this?
I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, we've got no witnesses unless he rolls over and confesses all. We've got nothing on him.
What we need to find out is whether he owns an old typewriter.
I can't get a search warrant. Why don't I go around and ask him nicely?
Nicely is not a concept he understands.
I can be extremely charming sometimes.
Got something on Paul McLeod.
Constable Jones speaking.
Now, his wife reckons that he would have picked Amelia up from the daycare centre just after 3 yesterday, but
Has anyone heard?
the teacher reckons he didn't get there till after 3:20.
And your name is?
So he's speeding to make up for lost time.
We'll get someone
But
out.
why?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
We got a disturbance out at the McLeod place.
You lying, mongrel moron! Hiding away in your stuck-up fancy house! You come out here and fight me!
Roy, what the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm trying to get this stuck-up bastard to tell
Come
the
on,
truth!
mate. On your way. You've had too much, mate.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't I? Everybody looks down on you just the same.
Listen, I've been backing you ever since I talked to Dr. Carter, okay? And now you go and get pissed and do this on me. Thanks very much.
Yeah? Well, I did just what you said. I went back to finish Albie's fence and my mongrel sacked me.
He what?
He abused me for getting drunk. Killing the kid. I never did. I never...
Just get rid of him, will you?
Yeah. You tell him what really happened,
Roy.
you bastard!
Roy, shut up.
You killed her, not me! You killed her!
Come on, mate, we'll give you a lift home.
Mr. McLeod, do you mind if...
Liar!
Roy,
He's
shut
a
up!
liar!
Just another chat, please.
You don't need a statement from me, surely. You can see for yourself what he's like. I've already spoken to your senior sergeant.
Yes, I'm aware of that, Mr. McLeod.
What do you want now? I've told you what happened.
Have you, Mr. McLeod? Everything?
What? What are you talking about?
See, the daycare centre doesn't back up your story about the time you picked up Amelia. They say you didn't get there until way past 3:20.
Then they got it wrong.
Not according to Mrs. Johnson. She remembers particularly because she locks up and leaves at 3:30 and she was beginning to wonder where you were.
What's he talking about, Paul? What's going on?
It's nothing, darling. Go back to bed.
No, I don't want to.
It's nothing to worry about, just a mix-up about time.
If you were that late, Mr. McLeod, you must have been really pushing it to get to the intersection by 3:30.
Late? Picking up Amelia?
No, of course not. I'm not listening to any more of this. What's the matter with you people? Where have you been for the last hour?
Don't take it out on her.
See what you're doing to my family? Get out of here now. Go on.
What did you do with Roy Barry?
Drive him home, sleep it off. Well, let's hope he does sleep. Doesn't drive to the pub.
Well, there's no chance of that. I'll give him back to him in the morning.
Thank you.
I don't know why I have to waste my time like this.
Well, we appreciate your cooperation, sir. Straight through.
I assume this is about that poison pen nonsense?
Not entirely. Go through there.
I will not be treated like a common criminal.
You're just helping the police with their inquiries, sir. Please take a seat.
I've made my position perfectly clear.
Yes, you have indeed. Now, can you tell us what you were doing at 2:17 this afternoon?
Why?
Because at about that time, someone threw a rock through the window at Holy Trinity Church.
Now, you really have gone too far, Detective.
Just answer the question, please.
Do you honestly think someone in my position would do anything so crass and
If
childish?
you refuse to answer the question, I must assume you've got something to hide.
An afternoon nap.
Did he have anyone in bed with him to corroborate?
Joanna! That's an uncharitable thing to say about a pillar of the church. Especially since he's innocent.
Well, doesn't it match?
Now, look, the T's on his machine drop. Now, we can get it checked out by experts, but I'm telling you, Baxter Walsh did not type this letter.
Damn.
If you've come to interrogate me, you can forget it.
I've just come to try and talk some sense into you.
Better men than you have tried that.
Oh, you don't say. Look, Grace, I'm just worried about you, that's all.
There's no need to be.
You slut! You whore!
Vicky!
It's all your fault!
Vicky, hey, put that down, put it down!
No, Amelia would still be alive if it wasn't for you!
We've rung your husband.
I don't want to see him. You had no right to do that.
I'm sorry, I thought he needed to be informed.
Vicky, what's going on? Why did you attack Reverend Curtis?
Reverend, that woman's destroyed our whole family. If it wasn't for her, none of this would have happened.
I'm sorry, but you're going to have to explain yourself more clearly.
Why do you think Paul was driving so fast? He was thinking about her. That's why my Amelia died. Because my bastard of a husband and the Reverend Curtis were having an affair.
Poor woman, no wonder she didn't want to speak to me.
She confessed to writing the note. Used to Mum's old typewriter.
So the person I was supposed to be having an affair with was Paul, not you.
Yeah, that's right. I still don't see why she was so convinced there was something going on between the pair of you.
Probably because Paul and I did spend a lot of time together working on the church accounts, I guess. And because her suspicions about him weren't entirely unfounded.
Did he tell you he was having an affair? Is that why you came to see Ben?
Paul has confessed to me as his spiritual advisor. And I've just said too much, Tom. Look, I'm not going to press charges against Vicky, by the way. I think she's suffered enough.
All right, I'll talk to her. See if I can straighten her out.
Where's Vicky?
It's all right, Mr. McLeod. She'll be out in a minute.
You can't charge her. She's not well. Well, she didn't mean it.
Please don't lock Mum up. She didn't do it.
Didn't do what, Hannah? Break the church window? You were out playing when it happened, weren't you, Hannah? Were you anywhere near the church?
Yes.
Right, we'll need to have a quick chat with Hannah, Mr. McLeod.
We'll need one parent present when we talk to her. If you don't want to join us, I'm sure your wife will.
Hannah, if you know who threw the rock through the church window, you should tell us.
What'll happen to the person who did it?
Well, that depends.
What on?
Why they did it.
Will they go to prison?
No.
You know, don't you?
It was me.
Why? Don't you like Reverend Curtis?
She was upsetting Mum.
Why? What'd she do?
Don't know. I heard Mum talking to Gran on the phone. I couldn't understand all of it. But she said Reverend Curtis was making her ill. And that made me angry.
It doesn't make sense. Why would she think that of Grace?
When you're ready, Mrs. McLeod's free to go.
Thanks.
Mummy!
It's all right, darling. Can we go now?
Yes.
So what's happening now?
Well, we won't be pressing charges at this stage, Mr. McLeod.
And Hannah's too young to be charged, so it's up to you how you deal with the broken window.
What window?
At the church.
I did it. I'm sorry, Mum.
I will need you both to sign the attendance register.
Boss? We're not going to let him get away with this, are we?
That's that we have much choice. Adultery may be immoral, but it's hardly illegal.
What about if it leads to killing a child?
Mr. McLeod, can I ask you to stay for a moment, please?
What for?
I'd like a word.
Can't it wait? I want to drive my family home.
No, it's all right. We'll get a cab.
Constable Jones will run you home. Senior, show Mr. McLeod through to the interview room, please.
Please.
I'm not having an affair with anyone. It's all part of Vicky's paranoia.
Because of the death of Amelia.
What else?
She wrote that letter to Reverend Curtis before the accident. Are you suggesting that she was paranoid even then?
I'm not listening to any more of this. I don't see what bearing it could possibly have on the death of my daughter.
It's become evident during the course of our investigation that excessive speed was a major factor in your accident.
Now I put it to you that you were speeding because you'd been with your girlfriend. And that's why you were late picking up Amelia.
It's about Paul McLeod. You'd know him fairly well, wouldn't you?
We work together on church business, budgets, that sort of thing.
And what sort of a man would you say he is?
Am I being asked for some sort of character reference?
In a way, yes.
Well, Paul McLeod's a pillar of the church. Honest, trustworthy, generous to a fault.
Well, this is a bit delicate, I'm afraid.
The thing is,
There's a rumour that Paul McLeod has been involved in an extramarital affair. We need to know if this is true.
Oh. Well? Well, you're asking me to cast aspersions on a fellow churchgoer.
We're asking you for an honest answer to a simple question.
Well, it's true, there is a rumour.
Does it have any basis in fact?
Could do.
Do you know the name of the woman involved?
Matter of fact, yes, I do.
What do you mean by involved? He is my accountant.
I mean, romantically involved.
I'm not a homewrecker.
Neither is Grace Curtis, but Vicky McLeod thought she was.
What?
Mrs. McLeod physically attacked the Reverend this afternoon.
This has become a mess. Look, I wasn't trying to break up their marriage or anything. He was very uptight. His job, the church, his wife. He said I helped him to relax.
Were you with Paul the day of the accident?
That had nothing to do with me. I told him to take it easy. I was shattered when I found out.
Just tell us what happened.
He came to the shop about 2:15. He said he didn't have long, so I closed up and we went out the back.
Did he tell you he needed to get to the daycare centre by 3?
Yes. We got carried away, I suppose. When he noticed the time, he was desperate to go.
Kate said that.
You've been lying through your teeth the whole time.
Putting the blame on someone else to avoid a scandal.
Both Kate and Mrs. Johnson from the childcare centre are willing to give evidence that you're running late to pick up Amelia.
You wouldn't have been anywhere near the intersection at the time of the accident unless you'd been travelling at well in excess of the speed limit.
Because you're in such a hurry, you obviously didn't fasten the seat restraints properly.
You have to make sure the buckles click into place on those baby seats.
Just wanted to get home.
You ended up killing your child.
Don't you think I know that? Must have relived that accident 100 times. Couldn't say anything. I was too ashamed.
You'll just have to live with it.
No, that's all sorted. You two should be out on patrol.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Might swing past Roy's place on the way, give him his keys back. And the good news, now he's off the hook, he might have some more incentive to stay off the grog. Roy! 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 Roy.
How is he?
Bloody idiot.
How is he?
He's long gone. Jeez, he's hot-wired.
Call it in.
Mate.
We have entrusted Amelia into God's merciful keeping, and we now commit her body to be buried in the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In the sure and certain hope of resurrection to eternal life through our Lord Jesus Christ, who died, was buried, and rose again for us. To him be glory for ever and ever. Amen. Peace be with Amelia's family at this time. Love with faith from God the Father and Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Without Roy Barry's evidence, nothing's been achieved. We can't even charge him.
What McLeod's done to himself is probably punishment enough. Anything we can add is neither here nor there.
Cold comfort for Roy, though. He was just getting somewhere.
Grace, can I ask you a question? Just to clear something up.
You can ask, I can't guarantee an answer.
Paul McLeod told you that he was responsible for the accident at the same time he told you about the affair, didn't he?
He was in very great distress. I heard his confession. Yes, he did tell me.
Thank you for that.
Doesn't matter anymore that Paul has now confessed to the world at large.
It's amazing the sort of mess people can make of their lives, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes wonder why God lets it happen. No, actually, I don't mean that. Because I'm absolutely certain that she knows exactly what she's doing.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Well, it comes down to us in the end. We do have free will, after all. A chance to make the most of every opportunity that arises.
Yeah. But, well, what's best for one person isn't necessarily what's best for another.
True. But you know the really lovely thing about free will, Tom? It allows you to change your mind. So, how's this armour of yours? Think it's still nice and shiny?
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Come on, you know what I'm saying. That's if the offer's still open, of course.
What do you reckon?
Now look, I'm a divorced woman. Our marriage would never be recognised by your church, and that's just the beginnings of the obstacles.
We'll overcome them. Listen, I can't imagine spending what's left of my life without you in it. I love you.